A question I get sometimes is what type of jiu-jitsu do we do? And that's a legit question. There's a lot of different styles of jiu-jitsu that happen out there. I think the most popular style that gets taught is what people, if you go to YouTube and search jiu-jitsu, you're going to see a lot of sport jiu-jitsu. And that's what a lot of people teach, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The jiu-jitsu that we do is, I try to use analogies as often as I can. So most people have cars, and I think this will help make sense as far as like what we're doing. We do Toyota Camry jiu-jitsu. Not the not the flashiest thing in the world, not the fastest thing in the world, but it lasts forever. It doesn't cost you a whole lot. It gets pretty good gas mileage. As far as the efficiency goes, it's pretty efficient stuff. That's not necessarily boring. I mean, you can still have fun in a Camry. What we don't do is Ferrari jiu-jitsu. There's probably not too many 200,000 mile Ferraris out there, so there's nothing wrong with a Ferrari. If you got one, that's great. But you probably can't drive it that often, or something will break, and when it does, it's very expensive. So Ferrari jiu-jitsu would be, stuff this, a lot of flash, a lot of upside down stuff, lots of knee problems, back problems, shoulder problems. We don't do that kind of stuff. The stuff that we do is relatively safe. I mean, some people might call it a little too conservative, but I've personally never felt the need to do anything more fancy than what we're already doing. Now, what we're not doing is PT Cruiser Jiu-Jitsu, for people who know what that car is. If you drive a PT Cruiser, I'm sorry that you drive one of those. That's the worst car ever built, ever. I've had several of them as rental cars, and while it looks like a car, when you get in it to drive it, it is junk. So we definitely don't do that. Like I said, we stick with the Camry. It works pretty well. Generally reliable. They very rarely break. It's something that you can do forever. You could have one Camry for 30 years and you'll probably be just fine, really. Little bit of maintenance here and there, take care of it like you're supposed to, and you're probably okay. So I've had that question a few times, and it just really never hit me to use cars as an analogy until recently. We were talking about something else. But yeah, that's some description of what we do. If you have any other questions, shoot me an email, drop a comment, whatever. I'm happy to answer the ones that make sense to answer.